is going on, everyone? Welcome to another Littleroot Showdown. What's going on, Carl?
Tired of getting beat up on Series 10, so I'm looking for a win this week.
Well, that's unfortunate, because I'm looking to win this week. I got a sweet one this week. My team's cool.
Same. I wouldn't call it cool. I'd call it... My team feels very standard.
Mine does not.
So we'll have a whole heap and tons of fun with this.
There is like one mon on my team that is like standard.
I wouldn't call mine standard from like the normal like format perspective, but it feels like a standard team. It's got Pokemon good stuff. So you know what I mean? It's just like all the good stuff.
Mine's like a Series 8 team. Like, like actually, it's super cool, and I'm in love with it. But obviously, I have to win first to be able to show it off. So
exactly.
So, how you feeling this week, man?
Other than being tired and ready to win, I'm good.
Yeah, I know we got Draft League this week where we're not actually playing each other. So that's cool.
We actually get to talk about it.
I know, it's so great. The lack of like communication the last week for Draft League is just like, well, I don't want to tell them what I'm doing, but I also need to confirm with other people to make sure that what I'm doing is actually like good.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, let's anything else you got for the intro, man, or we just want to jump
get right
in?
into it. Get
Cool.
right into it.
I will see you in game. So this week I am playing Jinja's Adrenaline Orb Reshiram team. With a bunch of different things going on here. So we have a bunch of mons that we have not really seen in Series 10 with like Reshiram, of course. We also have Umbreon, Rotom Wash, Safety Goggles, Arcanine, Weakness Policy Metagross, and then of course like Assault Vest Rillaboom rounding it out.
So my team this week is NG's Groudon team.
It's really interesting that we're like Weakness Policy Metagross still in this format. I mean, obviously we have like Bulldoze on Arcanine to trigger it, but I think something like Life Orb is probably just better suited for it at this point.
So I picked this one just because it was a Groudon team. It felt great in my hands when I played around with it.
Suicune, Groudon, Rillaboom, Eliki, Volcarona, Stakataka. Well, I don't think he's going to want to do Trick Room things. So that means he's probably going to want to do Tailwind things with Suicune.
Yeah, Carter picked the teams that I thought I was going to pick. Okay, cool. So, Reshiram, Umbreon, Rotom Wash, Rillaboom, Metagross, and Arcanine. Arcanine's not something we see very often anymore, it's really cool tech when you get to see it.
Interestingly, Reshiram lines up pretty okay thanks to Groudon setting Sun. The problem is like obviously it can hit us super effectively, so that's not great.
Umbreon is easily dealt with for the most part, as is Rillaboom, Reshiram, and all them. Regieleki doesn't do a whole lot this game, I feel like, so I'm probably going to leave Regieleki at home. I'm expecting Rotom Wash, Rillaboom, Reshiram, and probably like Metagross. They could bring Umbreon thinking I don't have a way to deal with it very well. What we could do here is lead Suicune and Rillaboom, bring Groudon in the back, and I guess I could bring Stakataka.
Rillaboom looks really appealing here. Having access to Volcarona on his side is kind of scary. So I think it's like Rillaboom, Arcanine with like Metagross plus Reshiram in the back. Rotom could be worth it as like being able to have a switch into two Precipice Blades instead of Arcanine, but like getting a burn off on Groudon or Stakataka is also just like game changing.
Actually, Groudon, Suicune, Rillaboom, Stakataka doesn't sound terrible. I don't hate this. I don't like it a ton, but I don't hate it either. Like, Volcarona just doesn't do enough, and Regieleki just doesn't have a good matchup anywhere.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see what he's got going on. Also, with safety goggles on Arcanine, we don't have to get redirected into Volcarona, so, like, that's cool. So, like, if he does go for, like, Groudon plus Volcarona, we can just Will-O-Wisp the Groudon and not have to worry about it.
I'm interested in a Reshiram versus Groudon matchup. It's going to be a lot of luck on my part to land my Precipice Blades.
I also have Ice Punch on Metagross, so we can do a ton of damage that way, too. It's just going to be Suicune Groudon up front for him. Okay. I'm pretty okay with this lead. Going to get the Intimidate off into the Groudon, which is really important.
Yep, Rillaboom. Like, Arcanine's like the Intimidate here, which is fine. Now, he has a choice. He can either fake out my Groudon or Grassy Glide my Suicune.
I kind of just want to double into the Groudon, but I think it protects this turn. So I think the play is to Woodhammer into the Suicune and pivot Arcanine out.
So many pre-game effects.
Sure, set up your Tailwind, but I don't really care. Like, Oppressive Blades is gonna hurt. So I just don't think Arcanine staying in is worth it right now. So we'll go into Metagross, potentially get a Weakness Policy triggered.
What I like to do here is I could easily just set up Tailwind for a speed advantage, but I don't think I really need it. Ice Beam into Rillaboom and Protect feels fine.
Could also just, like, Heat Crash into Rillaboom, which would not be great. I could see him just protecting Groudon here so he doesn't get Fake Out, though.
Odds are he goes for, like, Fake Out Will-O-Wisp into my Groudon. If that's the case, then I think we just set up Tailwind. I think just getting the Tailwind up here is fine. Yeah, he's just going to look to cycle.
Alright, Carl, what do you got? What do you got for me? Yep, there's a Protect from Groudon, completely fine.
Looking to get a policy proc, I guess, maybe? I don't know. Oh no, they're just going for Woodhammer. Okay, going for the KO here. That's fine. We got our Tailwind off, Suicune did its job.
There's a Woodhammer. That's so much damage. It's like, sure, you have Tailwind up, but, like, I don't really care because both of my mons here have priority moves.
Because then we can bring out our own Rillaboom. Likely Metagross protects here.
So I could switch Metagross back out into Arcanine to get another Intimidate off, which actually looks really appealing in front of Rillaboom. We'll just Grassy Glide the Groudon. Could also just protect here. I think going into Arcanine is good. Getting this Intimidate off onto both of these mons is pretty useful.
Do we want to just click Precipice Blades here, or do I just want to click Rock Slide? Knowing he has a bunch of weaknesses, we could just Heat Crash the Metagross here. Metagross comes out into Arcanine, yeah, that's fine. Nothing's happening this turn then. I'm just going to Heat Crash into Arcanine. They're going to get another Intimidate off. We're going to fake out the Rillaboom. I get the Heat Crash off into Arcanine, do a little bit of chip. Man,
that Woodhammer did so much damage. Was not ready for the Oko. But, I mean, that's literally why we clicked Woodhammer instead of Grassy Glide, was to try to pick up that Oko if we could. Alright, so Groudon's at -2. Rillaboom's at -1. It's going to be Fake Out into the Monkey. That still did... Okay, he crit, no wonder. Like, that still did a lot.
That's a crit? Yeah, I was about to say, that's a lot of damage for a Fake Out.
And it is Heat Crash. Reading you like a book, Carl. Reading you like a book. And it is Life Orb. Okay. That's actually pretty okay for us.
It's going to be a resisted hit here for sure. Yep. Even being at -2, that was still a lot.
So I can stay in and click Heat Wave. And Grassy Glide into the Groudon.
We're going to U-turn off the Rillaboom. And I think I just protect again. Because my Rillaboom is going to be faster than their Rillaboom because of Tailwind.
Could also Will-O-Wisp, but I think Heatwave with the sun up is just like better EV here for us. Better like return on investment essentially. Gonna protect Groudon, that's fine.
Yeah, like this is a super obvious play on their part. I get to get out of here.
Is this just like high horsepower? No, it's gonna be U-turn into my Rillaboom. Okay. Does a little bit. Question is what is your last? And more importantly, can it take a... It's probably gonna cycle out.
Bring out Stakataka. And then eat whatever fire type attack they were going to try and do.
It actually does bring Stakataka. Okay. How much does this do in Sun? Pretty sizable chunk, all things considered. Yeah, Arcanine is just really important in this end game. Being able to, like, just chip away as much as we are.
I wonder what the odds are that they just attack that now. And we just reset our Intimidates on our Groudon here.
I think I am going to go for a U-turn off of the Groudon slot, anticipating the switch there. And just go for a Will-O-Wisp into the Stakataka.
Our Rillaboom doesn't mean a whole lot this game because they're mostly weak to Groudon and Stakataka.
Stakataka and Groudon both line up pretty well into Reshiram, so not looking too great here for an end game for Reshiram. Stakataka protects. Good protect. But, like, we're definitely stalling out the Trick Room here. The Tailwind here, so.
Yeah, cool. Cool. Like, yep, you could U-turn off my Rillaboom, that's fine. Show me what you got. Because I get fake out pressure and you don't.
Holy cow, Rillaboom. You need to calm down, dude. That chunked him. Yeah, let's bring out Reshiram here.
So he has to play the fake out game here. Like I could easily just fake out Tailwind's gone, so that's fine. I think I'm just going to click the Trick Room button here and fake out into Reshiram.
And then this turn we will protect Reshiram and switch out into Rillaboom. We could go into Metagross, actually. Yeah. Tailwind's over. Last turn of grassy terrain. So we will just go for Protect here. And we will switch out and go into Metagross.
Like, if Arcanine wants to burn my Stakataka here, it's fine. Oh, this is great. This is so good. So good. Yeah, sure. I get free Trick Room now. We've just had all the speed control on our side this game.
Yeah, I actually feel pretty okay about that. Because now I can pull out Stakataka and go into Arcanine, get the Intimidate off into both of these mons, and go for like a Ice Punch into the Rillaboom.
And the sunlight's gone, so now there's no sun-boosted anything coming our way. I believe this is the last turn of Grassy Terrain as well. So we don't have priority Grassy Glide anymore, which is actually a good thing.
I could also Stomping Tantrum into the Stakataka, but I think it actually would take that pretty okay. So we'll just Ice Punch the Rillaboom. This also is like good for a Groudon switch out. Like this just covers a lot of our bases here.
So now we just click the Rock Slide button and U-turn off of... Do I just want to let it go down and just Wood Hammer? U-turn's my most effective move. But I could just let Rillaboom go down. Like, Rillaboom is just a liability here. Yeah, we'll just put chip damage on this Metagross.
Obviously, Stakataka is going to be the slowest thing on the field, so pretty okay with this. He could trigger my policy on Metagross, depending on what he does here.
Out comes Reshiram, in comes Arcanine. Yep. Put as much damage into the Metagross as possible here. Hoping for a flinch. Be great. good damage on that Arcanine.
It's just going to be Rock Slide. Okay, that's fine. It still does a sizable chunk to Arcanine, and I'm not a fan of that. Woodhammer into Rillaboom. That does literally nothing. No flinch? No flinch. Cool. So that should be a very KO'd Rillaboom.
We're slower. Got it. Ice Punch into my Rillaboom. Free switch. Yeah, sweet.
So now he's going to set back up Sun for us. I think I want to preserve Groudon again, so I'm going to withdraw it. And we can go for a... I don't know what we want to do. I know I want Arcanine to not be on the field, so I'm going to go into Rillaboom, I think.
So Arcanine won't survive another Rock Slide. So this could be a chance to double up. I wonder if Rillaboom was slower than the Metagross, then that means this Metagross is probably faster than everything else.
I think we protect this turn because it could be a Heat Crash into Metagross. I think I want to get an Intimidate off into the Groudon before I allow that.
I can just double Rock Slide here. Trying not to activate a policy. Yeah, there's the Rillaboom. Rillaboom's going to go down here. If we connect with both these Rock Slides, flinch chance is very, very high out for us. Metagross is just going to protect. That's fine. So if we can take out the Rillaboom here, that's going to be great.
It's actually pretty okay because like the Grassy Terrain is just going to give us a little extra recovery into the Metagross. Just add that little bit of longevity into it. And that does a lot into Rillaboom. Just double Rock Slide. Okay, that picks up Rillaboom, so it actually just gives me a free switch this turn, which is also pretty okay by me.
Connected on the Rillaboom. And connect on the Rillaboom. Sweet, we get to take out the Fake Out and don't have to worry about that now. They do get a free switch into Arcanine, but we know from last turn that a -1 stack Attacka still did a very decent chunk of this Arcanine, so it's not very defensively invested.
Alright, so Metagross is slower than Groudon. That's really good to know. Really, really good to know. So now Groudon's at -1. Stack Attack is at -2.
I think we have 2 turns of Trick Room left, too. So we can definitely... Yep, there's the Arcanine again. Looking to get advantages there.
I really wish we had Protect on Arcanine. I think this turn I'm going to... Man, I really want to get one more. I'm going to go into Reshiram. I think sacking Reshiram is actually okay here.
What do we got here? 2 turns? 1 turn? 2 turns. Okay. Yeah, I think we just keep clicking Rock Slide, and I think this is the turn we click Precipice Blades.
And I think Ice Punch into Groudon is the best play. Go for a Precipice Blades and trigger my policy, please.
If we could pick up a KO here, we can get the Reshiram out under Trick Room. Oh, no. I don't know if you wanted to do that, bud. I don't know if you wanted to do that.
Yep, there's a Rock Slide. There's a sizable chunk to Reshiram, even at -2.
Like, he's hoping for misses at this point. Flinch the Metagross. Be great. Nope, Ice Punch into my Groudon. Not going to be enough. No freeze, thank goodness. Precipice Blades connects on both. Double knockout. I think that's the game. Pretty sure this game is over.
I was hoping at -1 it wouldn't be enough. And unfortunately, I don't have a way of stalling out this last turn of Trick Room. Maybe Groudon can just live this hit. Can just live the double up, and double Heat Wave is enough to pick up a KO. It shouldn't be.
So now we can just click Rock Slide with our Stack Attacka. And Rock Slide with our Groudon. I believe Rock Slide's more accurate than Precipice Blades. I'll have to double check.
Stack Attack is at -3. Groudon's at -2. I don't think we live a double up.
Rock Slide's at 90. Like, this is obvious. It's 85, 90, or 100. I think I just go for the super effective moves, and if he clicks Protect here, it's fine.
Bank on a miss. That's literally what it comes down to. Is I think I need one of the moves to miss, and I need to connect with both.
Come on, Stack Attack, and do it for me. Oh, it's so close. I should have just clicked Heat Crash. Nope, don't need it. Don't need it. All the luck is ours. Sweet.
Why does that do so much? Calm down. Alright. Alright. I was expecting the Reshiram to be able to take the Precipice Blades. Had that been Rotom, I think we would have won the game. I think had I brought Rotom instead of Reshiram, I win that game, because that just gives me a free switch in there. Instead of having another Mon weak to ground. I have 3 ground weaknesses in the Mons that I brought, and I'm going up against a Groudon. I think had I instead not brought Reshiram, because it doesn't really accomplish anything into his team, and instead brought Rotom like I originally thought, then I think we could have won.
GG's, Carter. Game was great. A lot of unfortunate switching. He brought 3 Pokemon weak to Groudon. Actually, no. Every Pokemon I think was weak to Groudon in some sort of way. So definitely was in our favor to win that one. But yeah, let's get hooked up back up with Carter here for some post-game comments.
Well, all good things must come to an end, Carl.
Yeah. When you said you were picking you had a very unique team, I was like, is it Duskmane Necrozma? I know that team's in here somewhere, and that team's really sweet.
Yeah,
and then you showed up with Reshiram and like a million weaknesses to Groudon. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, I even said in like the outro of the game, I'm just like, I had debated bringing Rotom Wash in like team preview, and it didn't connect until like midway through the game that I just did not have a switch into like Precipice Blades.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, oh, that's going to be really bad. So my first thought is like, well, Arcanine does like really, really well here because it just like intimidates everything that you brought. So like being able to just continuously cycle it in and out is going to be ideal. I'm like, so then when, I switched in Reshiram on that last couple turns, I'm like, Groudon's at -1 or 2 I think it was at -1.
It was at -1. Stack Attack was at -1.
It was at -2. I'm just like, surely we can live a hit here. And it just did not even attempt to matter. Because the Metagross is also weakness policy. So like, if you trigger my policy, then you just get like ice punched to death.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was trying to avoid specifically.
Yeah.
It's like Metagross has to have policy here.
Yeah.
If I'm going to click Precipice Blades when I know I can pick it up. Like that was the goal.
And then I'm like, well, yeah. Also, you literally never missed a Rock Slide. You never missed a Precipice Blades. So like,
I even said it's like I have to hit every move. This whole game is going to come down to me being lucky enough to hit every single move.
Like I said, I think had I brought Rotom Wash, I think that end game plays completely differently, because then I get to bring in Rotom basically for free instead of Reshiram there. Trick Room then expires that turn. Well, the next turn, I just like double protect. Trick Room expires, and then I just get to like, stall out your stun on Groudon, and then Rotom cleans that game up. Yep. Like I just get to cycle out Arcanine and into Rotom into Arcanine and just like intimidate. And like just not take really any kind of damage from either of your Mons, and then Rotom cleans up that end game. But
when you showed off that you didn't have Rotom, it's like, oh, I can just sack off Rillaboom now. Like Rillaboom was the only job was there to just make sure I can answer Rotom. Yep. And the minute you showed off your 3 that wasn't Reshiram, I was like, well, Reshiram has to be in the back, right? Like it'd be kind of silly not to bring Reshiram. It just Reshiram actually eats everything else on my team besides Groudon.
I actually think it was a mistake to bring Reshiram. Like the way that game played out, I think Arcanine and Rotom would have been the most important Mons I could have brought. Like Groudon lines up, like Rillaboom lines up pretty okay against like majority of her team, especially after I saw how much my U-turn did into you. I'm just like, holy cow, that should not have actually.
You were never intimidated.
True.
My Rillaboom was -2 when I U-turned off of you.
You also crit though.
Not the U-turn.
I thought the U-turn
Fake
did.
out did.
No,
U-turn
the fake out did. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the fake out crit, and I was like,
you're
oh,
right.
that has to be a crit. No, the U-turn was like -2, so I was just like, well, I'm not doing any damage here. I just need to get out. Just in
and
case.
that was the idea, is like, you need to be able to get both of your Mons out to be able to reset their turn. So I'm just like, if your Groudon switches out here, this just gives me a free KO to pick up your Rillaboom, which like is literally whatever. It's not really doing anything, like you said. And I don't think a Stomping Tantrum would have KO'd your Stakataka. Like, it's so bulky. There's no possible way.
Yeah, I don't know on that one. I'm not sure on the calc for that one. I don't know like what the Metagross is set up to. I actually don't even know what the Stakataka is set up to. So
I'm actually curious about the Stakataka. I almost, there it is. Okay, your Chople. I wasn't sure if you were going to be Chople or if you were going to be Shuka.
Yeah, we're Choppleberry.
The fact that you are Chople might have done it. I don't think so, but yeah, I think like the team lined up pretty okay against like everything else. No, this isn't even the right team I'm looking at.
I have NG's. This is NG's Groudon team. I talked about it at the start. I had both Groudon teams ready to go in case I wanted to play the other one.
Oh, okay, okay.
I didn't like what it was doing for the most part. I'd rather just
your safety goggles.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay. I was looking at the other Rotom team that's Chople. I was like, wait. Wait, this team doesn't have Suicune or Volcarona. What is going on here?
That one's Adams. That one's more of a slower, bulkier P2 style, and I wasn't sure if I really liked to play with that. And I rather just go fast and have a slow mode if I need it kind of situation. Which I got to do both. I got to go fast and I got to set up Darkroom.
Yeah, I even said in team preview, I'm like, I'm not sure how much work Stakataka is going to do here. I'm like, I don't think he's going to want to go like the slow, dirtily game plan. And then you brought both, and I'm just like, oh, well, that's kind of annoying. Can you please stop? And then, like, my Woodhammer just OHKOs your Suicune, and I'm just like, yep, that's why we did that.
Like, that's expected. Like, Suicune's job is to click Tailwind. That's all it's going to do.
Yeah, that's literally all you needed to do. At that point, I'm just like, all right, well, I have, like, priority moves, so I'm not really worried about your Tailwind. Like, I have Grassy Glide, Bullet Punch. I really don't care about your Tailwind.
Yeah.
But I actually really like both of these teams that we ended up playing this week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think there's, like, any team in the queue that I don't enjoy. Like,
again, we picked 2 teams out of the 4 that I picked and have saved on my Switch. So I'm down to the other Groudon team saved at the moment.
Note to self, be prepared to beat Groudon.
Well, now that all the other teams are gone, I can just start picking and choosing from the other 4 or whatever we have left.
True. But that being said, we need more teams, people. Send them in.
Just because you don't want to play Series 10 doesn't mean we don't want to.
Yeah, I've genuinely, thoroughly enjoyed this format so far. I was talking with Chase a little bit from ATX last night, and we're kind of on like the same page, but like not really. Kind of like he feels like a lot of people have not enjoyed Series 10, which I think is the general consensus. But it just feels like, from my perspective, teams don't feel as cohesive in this format as they have in other formats.
Yeah, that's kind of been...
like in the other series that we've played this last year and a half or whatever. It just doesn't feel like they are nearly as like coherent and built to be a team than what they have been in the past. It really does just feel like, all right, well, I had to play this Incineroar. I had to play Rillaboom. Eliki seems really good, so I'm going to play it. Okay, well, I'm restricted into one restricted mon at this point. I guess we'll just slap it on.
Slap the best one on there, be it Xerneas, Zacian, Kyogre, Ghost Horse.
Groudon, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, there's like 5 good ones, so I guess I had to play one of those.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think that's correct in like how I approach a format. And I know you're the same way, where you and I look at it to be, 50% against the field versus, like we play to edge out wins as opposed to aiming to beat the best thing.
Like, I beat this every time. That's the Magic players in this, because in Magic you can't set up to beat everything every time.
Yep.
And Pokemon people haven't figured that out yet. I guess they don't have if I just Dynamax this guy, I win every matchup every time, and people are still trying to get used to that, I guess.
Yeah, it's very bizarre, but it is a very different format than everything else that we've played in the last year and a half. Who knew that taking away the key
the
key
gimmick
component, the key gimmick of the format would make the format different.
Yeah, who knew? I'm excited to see what the next year or whatever of Sword and Shield brings for us, though.
For sure. I've genuinely enjoyed this, and I can't wait to play with like Iron Fist and Fernape and just punch people.
Yeah.
Like, man, you remember how good Conkeldurr is? What if we made him fast?
Yeah, what if he's fast?
So,
is that it? Are we done?
Winner gets last word, man. What do you got on the way out?
I got nothing. I already said everything I wanted to say, so we're good.
Cool. So that's going to be it this week, everyone. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you later for some laddering and some podcasts and some deep dives and all that good stuff. So have a good one, everyone. Peace.